podcast today. I'm glad to be in the presence of my friend, my brother, my compatriot, Mr. Daks. He's a content creator, an entrepreneur, and the founder of the Daks Group. Mr. Daks, welcome.
Thank you so much, sir, for having me, and hello to all your viewers and listeners.
Mm. Okay, first things first. For those who may not know Mr. Daks, how would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'll just say I'm Dax from Ghana. Dax is from one of my surname, which is Dakra. When I just came to China, they couldn't mention my surname, so I just intended to make it short. So I made it Dax. So most people know me as Dax in China. I've lived in China for almost 7 good years now. Basically,
Mm.
that is all about me.
Okay, let's talk about the Daks Group. When I check the page, you're doing a lot of business here and there and tips here and there. So tell me, how did you start and why did you start the Daks Group?
Oh, yes, Das Group is a trading company based in China and is all for business purposes. Actually, I started this business even before coming to China in 2018. In 2018, I did my first importation from China myself from one app called Kiku whilst I was in Ghana. So I realized things was so cheap there. So whilst I was in Ghana, I was importing from China and selling to people in Ghana. So luckily for me, I had the opportunity to come to China. Then I was so happy because now I can meet direct suppliers, manufacturers instead of me being online as I used to do in Ghana. So that is how Das Group started. So basically in China, what we do is we help people source products. We help in advertisement. Most Chinese factories need content creators like Das Group to advertise their products, and we also help people who are outside China who wants to learn how to import from China themselves without using an agent. We also do factory tour if you want to visit China, if you want to learn how to find reliable supplies in China, anything about business in China, we are there for you.
So Daks Group, you sell and import anything. There's no specific type of group good you do.
Yes, I personally sell farm products in Ghana. I personally sell those products, but apart from that, we are mainly sourcing agents and we can help you source any product you need. You don't have to waste money, get visa to come to China. Just get somebody trusted like us. We can get you everything at a very cheaper cost whilst you're at your comfort of your home.
So where can someone find you? Daks Group.
Yeah, yes, on YouTube, we Das Group. They can find us all the social media handles. They can find Das Group and Facebook, Instagram, all the platforms. They can find us. And in Ghana too, we have an office in Ghana as well, Accra.
And you have an office in Ghana. Do you plan on expanding? Let's say coming to my country, Uganda.
Yeah, I have that plan of collaborating with people. Actually, the best way is to get people who are originally from that country. They understand the environment very well. They understand the challenges of the people, and also people who can speak those local languages, how to speak to people very well. Sometimes doing business is not just about going to a new environment, it's about understanding their culture and their way of life. So I would love to have people from different countries all over the world where we can collaborate together, have some teamwork, and yeah, do business together. Apart from Ghana, I have other countries. I also do business, especially in the US. My business is mainly based in Ghana and the US. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Let's go to something that I would say I'm very proud of you. That is content creation in the area
Oh,
of
really?
YouTube. You have a YouTube community. and I like the fact that
Thank you.
there you share tips. You've also come in once in a while to me and given me tips here and there. So let me ask, why
Yes.
YouTube, and how would you say you benefited from the platform?
Yes, in fact, I have to really acknowledge you and this podcast. These are one of the podcasts that really motivated us to also start content creation.
Ah,
Uh, as Charles Darwin said, it's not about the strongest
mm,
or the nicest species that survive. It's about those who are adaptable to change that survive. So it got to a time I said I wanted something out of my profession. I'm a pharmacist by profession. I wanted something out of my profession. And I realized that in the 90s, what was really trending was internet. Go to a time Google. And now we are in the in 2010 there about social media. But now these days it's no more social media. It's now AI and blockchain. So you need to adapt to the current change every time. I see maybe you can't be like the old version. You have to always adapt. So I came out with an idea that I was willing to adapt to change and also be updated to the current trend. So I realized that social media or YouTube is one of the most powerful tools, especially if you are into business. It can really help you grow your business so much. So that is where the journey of starting content creation started from. And I remember before I started, I just saw Sangi podcast. I think that's the first podcast to be in China,
mm.
and I was like, oh, Professor JP has started podcast. That's so great. Why don't I do YouTube? So I analyze these things, podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, and all those things, and I realized YouTube will be something I will really love. Even though I was very shy being on camera at the beginning, these challenges, but yeah, here we are. And so basically that is how the journey of starting content creation started from.
And then, how would you explain your growth? Like, you have two YouTube channels, each of them are in KK subscribers. How would you explain your growth?
Yes, my growth is as a result of hard work, learning, and also learning and determination. So when I started the YouTube, my first YouTube channel is about educating, entertaining, and edifying the world about China. Before I started that channel, I did research to see what are the kind of videos people will need, what kind of value can this channel provide to people. So I analyzed and I realized that before I personally come into China, I was so ignorant of so many things about China. I still thought China was so poor, and still there are so many people who still think China is still that poor country. In those days, people are malnourished, people are unable to get food to eat, and all those things. So I was like, why don't I educate people about the real life living in China? Another aspect I considered was I came here as a student. So I was like, why don't I make videos that solve the problems or challenges I was facing as a student? One was me before coming to China. I thought if you come, you can work and make money. And it
Mm,
wasn't so. I had several friends who got deported for working illegal. So I was like, after living in China for several years, why don't I make videos that will help students, educate students about how to make money legally in China? These are one of the niches that has helped my channel grow so much. How to make money legally in China as a student. The next aspect was how to help people who are planning to study in China. Me, before coming to China, I always thought you have to pay huge sum of money before you can get full scholarship to China. That is what I thought. But after coming to China, I learned that it wasn't so. You can basically get full scholarship without even paying a damn. So my next aspect of my channel was helping students apply for scholarship to China themselves without an agent, which I even had you on my podcast as well to explain your experience living in China. So basically, I think what has really helped my channel grow is solving most of the challenges I was facing personally living in China.
Okay. When I look into your content, there's that question that I not say question. Is that topic that you usually do, which is how to import something without using an agent, how to use Taobao and what that e-commerce thing. Um,
Yes,
did you realize that most people don't know that, and you're trying to fill the gap?
exactly. I am currently doing my master's, and if you are doing research, every time you have to study the gap and fill the gap. Unfortunately, in our African community, when we see somebody doing podcast, we all want to do the same type of podcast. Meanwhile, we can do podcasts and also start a different niche altogether.
Mm,
So, in terms of business, previously, most people, we those in China, we source products for people. But I realized that there are so many people living outside China. They have never been in China before. And they are teaching people how to import from China themselves without using an agent. So when I realized that, I was like, wow, this is where we have reached. Now people don't need us to source for them again. They
mm,
want to learn how they can get suppliers contact themselves without coming to China. So I was like, this is a great advantage to me because I live in China, I can speak Chinese, I can visit manufacturers, everything. I have that advantage. So why don't I start that kind of channel teaching people how to import from China for free? And to be frank with you, starting that channel is so far is one of the channels that has grown very fast for me.
yeah.
Very, 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 very fast. Within 6 months, so many views, and the number of people, audience I have now through this channel, you won't believe that. Yeah.
Nice, nice. So, how would you describe your successes so far in content creation?
Yes, I think it has really changed my life in so many ways. It
Mm,
has changed my personal life. Previously, I was so shy how to be on camera. I don't think those days I will even have the zeal to come and sit here. Even I won't even accept your invitation to be on this podcast. So content creation, aside other importance or advantages, has really changed my personal life. It has also improved my skills. You learn how to edit, you learn graphic design. I feel like content creation is a whole university on its own. I've
mm,
learned so much that I need in my daily life, unlike being in the university. Even being in the university, we mostly depend on YouTube videos to pass our exams.
mm.
Most people depend on YouTube videos before they can really understand what the teacher or the lecturer is trying to teach. So for me, content creation has really changed my life, and I will really advise anyone who has not started yet to start now. We are in the world of content creation. Start one, and it will change your life as well.
So, you usually say that you usually adapt to the current situation. So, do I see Dax going to AI and blockchain?
Of course, that is not even a question. Yeah, every time when you are in business, you have to always be thinking ahead and be looking at what is trending. I remember during COVID time, one of my Chinese friend and I started an online job, which is voiceover. Voiceover making, getting Americans to record advertisement audios and stuff for factories in China. During COVID time, it was really selling. But within a short time, AI came Now people don't need that. People can just use AI to make voiceovers, advertisement, and all those things. So if you are into business, you have to be always thinking ahead and also always try to adapt to change. I saw one post on social media where there was one man in 2010 or so. He was advising people to buy one Bitcoin every month. He was begging people to buy one Bitcoin every month. And now, so many people who followed his advice are now millionaires. He's also a millionaire now. Do you get it? So it's always people who always jump to the new change. They usually make it. Most of the time, the people who come late, they run at a very, very big loss. So definitely, we are looking at so many future directions and what to do next apart from content creation.
Nice, 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 nice. So obviously, you have your first challenges in your work as an entrepreneur and a content creator. So how do you manage them?
Yeah, I get that question every time. It's really not easy, especially doing my master's, which is MPhil research work, lab work. Sometimes you are restricted, you have to be in the lab. And it wasn't easy at the beginning, but you have to master time management. For me, what has really helped me so much is the end goal. My end goal. Why am I even doing content creation? Why do I need that? So if you know your end goal, you can sacrifice a lot of things. You utilize every moment to invest in that thing. So me one, the end goal. Two, the benefits. Once you get several benefits, you get people contacting you from US, from Australia, other countries you have never been to. It really encourages you to invest in what you are doing. So I think sometimes we need motivation as well. When you see positive change, like some advantages in what you are doing, it encourages you to continue to do that. And the next thing is loving what you do. One thing about content creation for me as a beginner when I started, one of the biggest challenge was just copying others, checking the videos which are making the most views on the internet to make those videos. I realized that I didn't enjoy those kind of videos, but I was making them because I wanted to trend, and it's not about that. I think it's about what you will enjoy along the process. If you really enjoy what you are doing, no matter how tired you are, you continue to do it. No matter the less views or subscribers you have, you will continue to do that.
Ah, nice, nice, nice. I really like the last statement. No matter the numbers, you keep on doing what you like to do.
Yeah.
Um, so Mr. Dax, I've known you also to be a Pan-Africanist here and there. So, um, would you also be like? I wouldn't want to just say compare it to Odamaya, but would your content also be like highlighting Africa also going forward?
Yes, I see that direction, and Africa is the future.
Mm,
Africa is the future, and I see myself in that direction. I just can't wait to see that time where I will also be promoting Africa in so many ways. In terms of investment, I've started a little where I'm trying to educate so many people to start investing in Africa. We very soon will be coming up with some type of content where we'll be giving business ideas to people, investors, the kind of business they can invest in Africa. We'll be giving details about the machines, the cost involved in all these businesses investing in Africa. Yeah, so I see myself in that direction.
nice, nice, nice. One of my last questions would be, what advice would you give the youth who would be listening in right now?
Wow. In fact, especially to Africans in China,
Mm,
I would say that when a Chinese gets to Africa or Ghana, he or she will make sure that Wherever there's gold, diamond, he would leave Africa or Ghana with those diamond and those gold. So to people who are living in China, we shouldn't just live in China jumping from drinking bars, uh, jumping from different stores on Taobao alone. We should make sure that whatever gold or diamond in China, we will also tap into that and send it back to our country to change our country. This is one of the advice I would really give to Africans living in China, especially bachelor students. I came here as a bachelor student. When you are young at that age, you think the whole world is yours and you just want to have fun, just partying and all those things. I think we Africans, especially young guys who have the opportunity to come to China, there are so many advantages, so many things we can learn in this country. We can build networking, we can build good relationships so that a time will come, even when we are not in China, we can have that networking, those relationships that can help us also develop our country. I couldn't imagine, and I still can't imagine why a country of over 1 billion population, life is so convenient and so easy in their country, like China, but Africa or just Ghana of only 32 million, life is not convenient as it is in China. We can also do so, and we can also change the narrative. China was also very poor, and China
Mm.
has been able to change the narrative. It's time for we Africans to also change the narrative. Look, there's no greener pasture, there's no greener continent than Africa. So I don't see why we must be traveling to other countries for greener pastures in the next 10 years to come or 20 years to come.
Okay, okay. My last question to you will be, what makes you a proud African, Mr. Dax?
The identity. The identity makes me so proud to be an African. The identity.
Mm. Okay, thank you, Mr. Dax, for passing by. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, and I really like to really applaud you for the great work you have been doing. In fact, the first podcast in China, and this is the first time I'm telling you that your podcast really, really motivated me to also start my content creation. And thank you very much for making the way. And I can't wait to see your platform also grow in so many ways. And our viewers who have not subscribed to his platforms or followed, this is the time. And I really appreciate the many business ideas you have on your platforms, because through your platform, so many people can have so many business ideas they never think of. I've listened to so many of your videos, people you invited, and I've gotten so many ideas from that platform. So I hope people can make use and utilize this great platform. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mr. Dax.